have to break the ice because I'm from Canada. Settled in Canada, so I want to start with one question. Yeah, let us assume all of us are having habits. Like there are some people who speak very aggressively in an insulting tone to the others. There are some people who speak in a friendly tone, easygoing with others. Now, if I have the habit of speaking in a very harsh way, very harshly with others, and now that comes out because of my unconscious. Like unconsciously, from my childhood, I have this habit of speaking harshly with others. Now, I see that yes, many people are unhappy the way I'm talking. So now, how do I correct that habit? Whenever should I consciously slow down, have patience in whatever I'm doing, or if I do it, I can do it now. Then later, if I keep repeatedly doing it, will it become a habit of speaking patiently and in a friendly way?
Here we have some habits naturally. Each and everybody is having habits. Some naturally, everybody having some own nature. Something may be in the form of habit, something may be in the form of very nature of himself is. So here, the only option is in our hand that we have to recognize something is going on against the normal principle or normal way of living. So something goes wrong. So when something goes wrong, we recognize that factor. So the very recognition makes you behave in a calm way. So if you plan that you have to be in a calm way, your planning will not always help you. So at times you can plan yourself, you can make yourself in a way, but the planning is only an artificial way. But this understanding that you are behaving in a bad way, unconsciously you are doing some unwanted thing. So the recognition itself will have some idea about yourself. Thereby you will have, without your consciousness, without your conscious effort, some natural change will be there. So you will not execute any change. But if you are consciously executing change, for the time being it will be alright. But it is a kind of struggle. Sometimes you may be successful in maintaining the new way of behavior, but sometimes you may fail in the behavior. But if the understanding will help, if you understand that this is not good. So here you have some finding. So you are finding that your behavior is not correct. So this very understanding, the very finding is some way or other help the change of your character, change of your behavior. It will work. But if you seriously block yourself, for the time being it will be helpful, but it is not the way. And the recognition itself will have a solution for that.
Lots of self-help books like how to stop worrying and start living, how to build friends and influence people, and how to become richer quicker, and that's how to help yourself, how to change your habits, how to wake up early. There are so many books which guide us how to change yourself, like your mind, your habits, your outlook, your value system. So reading any of those books will not give us a permanent solution.
But here you may practice all these things. You don't have any, basically you have some quality, you have some habits, and you are functioning with your habit, you are functioning with your quality. That is natural. But you find that is not correct. So when you find that is not correct, you want to change the behavior, change the habit. But that is good, that does not matter. But if you try in that way, so the timing it will be successful. But anyhow, it is a struggle struggle within yourself. You are somewhere or other, you are making a war within yourself. So that is not good. But at the same time, the main thing is that everybody is behaving like this. We are feeling some guilty. We are feeling some guilty consciousness. So actually, the guilty consciousness is purely psychological. So the guilty consciousness is also another problem. So having guilty consciousness is not the way. But at the same time, we have to understand the nature of the behavior. We have to understand the nature of the quality of your behavior, and that is good. You have to understand, but the understanding will somewhere or other, it will bring a result. But you cannot plan the result. You cannot plan the action. But if you plan the action, for the time being it will be good. But it is not in long run it will not be good. But in course of time, if you have the correct finding, and unconsciously you will have the change of character, change of habit, everything will happen like this. But for that, the guilty consciousness is not good. But at the same time, we have to understand the status of our behavior. Understanding the status of behavior is nice, it is good. But at the same time, feeling guilty consciousness is not good. So whenever we are having guilty consciousness, we are forcibly taking some decision to follow something. So thereby that is a thing for which we are struggling within ourselves. So the guilty consciousness makes you struggle within yourself. But at the same time, but the understanding will not make you struggle. But as far as the action is concerned, your understanding somewhere or other helps you to take a correct decision in a correct situation. You will have a steady mind, some patience. You will have the necessary patience. Everything will happen naturally. So we need not worry about the execution. If you understand rightly, that the understanding is not a demand. If you demand, it is not understanding. So you have to understand this is not correct, this is good. You have to understand like this. This understanding will help in an indirect way. It is not directly help. But our demand, it may look, all our demands are directly helping us, but that is not the way. But when we demand something good, thereby we are forcing ourselves to behave in a correct manner. So the time being it will be alright, but it is not the way, it is not the successful way. But if you are patient and if you are understand the position of yourself, somewhere or other, directly or indirectly, you will have the correct situation. Your character may be changed, your quality of your behavior may be changed.
Questions. Enlightenment and liberation. And then we have samadhi and bliss. What is the difference between enlightenment and liberation and samadhi and bliss? Are they similar?
Actually, liberation is our natural state of our mind. We need not get liberation. Already we are having liberation. Liberation, it is not a state, but many persons are thinking the liberation is the greatest state, but it is not a state. It is like the natural functioning of the mind. In our mind, some emotion may come. No emotion will stay there forever. Whatever comes will disappear. That is the natural way of the functioning of our mind. So that is liberation. For which, what is the disturbance here is that we want to serve. We have some selection. We want this. I don't want that. When we interfere like this, we are disturbing the natural state of our mind. So we are disturbing the natural state of liberation. So here we have to understand no work is there. So the understanding that we have no work in the intellectual level, in the functioning of the natural function of the mind, that kind of understanding will be considered as enlightenment. So the enlightenment is purely intellectual. It is there's no connection with emotion or anything. It is purely intellectual. Your intellect alone has to decide.
You first achieve liberation and then you go for enlightenment?
No. Liberation is already there. Without knowing as we have more knowledge about the liberation or anything, we are unconsciously disturbing the liberation. So when we understand we have no work towards liberation, then we stop struggling with the liberation. So we are not disturbing the liberation. So our enlightenment keep ourselves without doing any disturbance to the liberation. So that alone is the purpose of enlightenment. Otherwise we will keep disturbing the liberation. So for that we have to understand there is no work on our part related to the liberation. So liberation already there. We cannot create liberation. Liberation is already there.
And how samadhi is related to this?
Samadhi is a different state. Samadhi is just like it is one among the meditation. Through meditation, you can have the control of the mind in a particular way. Thereby, you can stop the function of the mind and you can have the awareness or consciousness within yourself, and you are not having any transaction externally and internally. You are keeping yourself without any transaction. So that is samadhi state. But in deep sleep, you will have no connection, but you don't have any consciousness about that. But the samadhi is a conscious sleep, but the sleep is unconscious sleep. That is the difference between samadhi and sleep. When you go to a sleep in a conscious state, that is known as samadhi state.
And
But it is
bliss, is it bliss related to samadhi? Is it the same thing?
Bliss is also when it has some experience. During bliss, we have some experience. That is it can be terminated, it can be defined as samadhi, but it is savikalpa samadhi. When there is no experience, but only the knowing alone is there without any experience, that is nirvikalpa samadhi. But when we have some bliss consciousness, that is known as savikalpa samadhi. So some difference in both states. But the bliss consciousness can be considered as a samadhi state, but it is savikalpa samadhi.
I have
With
no
some
more
experience.
questions. No more questions. Could you tell us how you achieve your enlightenment? Your
So,
experience?
Many things happen, and but here previously, and I think enlightenment, liberation is a great experience. The feeling of some experience, some greatest experience, some wonderful experience, I think, and I am seeking for that experience. But when somewhere or other I find out it is not at all an experience. It is just like the flowing freedom from all experiences. So that is only the intellectual understanding. And before that, I have tried many ways, many masters, many inquiry, many process, everything I gone through. But after I've gone through many processes like this, then only I have find out that all the expectations like this are wrong.
Did you have a guru?
Many guidance, but everything has some little value. But
You didn't have physical guru?
Physical guru there, but there they offer some little help. But here, all guru are necessary to show some way. But it is not a place where no way is there. So we have to be free from all the ways. We have to free from all the destination. So if some destination is there, some guidance may be there. So actually, we have to give up everything. But all the gurus, showing the way is only for the beginners. For the beginners, we can work. We can get something. So getting something is only for the beginners. But giving up everything is the end. So we should not be in a place. So we have to give up everything. We should not find any shelter for ourselves. We have to submit ourselves to the natural flow of our mind, natural flow of our emotion or anything, without finding any room, finding any shelter for ourselves. We have to give up everything. And we have to be in the natural flow of our consciousness or mind. So for that, if we follow anybody, we cannot, because whenever we are having any following, we have to reach somewhere else. So the reaching somewhere else is the end. So we must have we should not have any end. We should not have any shelter. We should not have any abode to have any rest. So we have to put down all the shelter. We have to put down all the destination. So then only the natural flowing will be there. So the flowing must be eternal. There should not be any destination.
Part of my question is physical, not did you achieve your enlightenment as a householder or in the caves of Himalayas? What physical and physical level? What was your life?
Going through all the thing and getting many experiences through that, and we finding out the validity of the experiences, and then only I come to conclusion that no experience will help me. So but I am not going to the Himalayas or anything, but only the.
But you've been always
as an ordinary citizen.
Ordinary close to.
Ordinary person.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
Cleansing subconscious mind and eliminating karma. Obviously, the thoughts are popping in, which is disturbing this natural flow. How do you get rid of these obstacles? Spiritually or the meditation?
So
I practice.
When there is no subconscious mind, we cannot function. So there is no necessity to clean anything.
How do I clean the?
Not necessary. Everything is helping. We can take it in a positive way. Law of prarabdha karma is helping us. Without prarabdha, you cannot function. Everything gives you a situation. Everything gives a chance to function. So you can make use of everything in a positive way. We need not find fault with anything. So we can whenever we want to achieve something, then we have some way. Here we have to give up everything. So whatever comes, it will come and it will go away naturally. We need not, on the way we can make use of anything.
So what would you in my case, just put in the flow and let it go?
Yeah.
That's it, without any
it is
attachments.
We need not push it away. It is going on its own.
Let it go. So that's how we let Parabhas cleanse itself.
Then the cleaning will happen naturally. We are not cleaning.
But that is only in the inside.
Only
in the inside.
Internal.
Inside. Just let it go. But outside we should be a normal person.
Outside we can make use of some, for example, we may have some good emotion or bad emotion. Some situation requires, even bad emotions are required. For example, when you are sitting in a house, some lunatic person enter into a house. And on seeing the lunatic person, you may have some anger upon him. And with the anger you can shout and he can send him away. But sometimes instead of anger you can get fear upon seeing him. So instead of anger, if we have fear, we cannot shout in angry voice. But then what we do when you have fear, so you come away from the house and seek the help of the neighbors. So you all jointly send to the lunatic person. So when the lunatic person enters your house, if you do not have either fear nor anger, you cannot deal with the person. So here the anger comes for your help, the fear comes for your help. If you do not have any emotion, you cannot deal with the lunatic person. But he will simply go to your bed and he will simply drive you away from the house. So that will help. So everything comes for our help. We can make it use of in a positive way. So you need not find fault with anything. You can make use of that.
So as far as I understand, you sit in the silence, or others come, you let it go, and then slowly you enter into the thoughtless state, and then comes samadhi, and then comes liberation and enlightenment? Is it like this process happening?
But these topics are
I'm just
not my choice.
I'm picking up from.
It is randomly on the listener's point of view, we are arranging many topics, but according to me, these topics are not necessary.
Okay, but the whole process, let's say, I want to reach, let's say, enlightenment. I sit down, open myself, allow parameters to enter into the cosmic flow, let it go, and then over the time, over the years, you reach the point of thoughtlessness, right? And then after thoughtlessness comes samadhi, right?
All these things are some attainment. Samadhi state, silence,
This stage
everything is an attainment. So if you are interested upon samadhi or silence, then you are away from the liberation and the enlightenment. So here you should not find anything. But in the samadhi state may be a pleasing state, silence may be a pleasing state. You want to be sheltered there.
So you want to say the desire for samadhi is obstacle.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been told that already.
Okay.
Yesterday.
So here we have to understand there is no state for ourselves. So each and every moment, everything is new. There is no past. So what we think we are having something needed, but actually we are needed nothing. Everything comes and goes naturally, but actually the eye consciousness is also a kind of emotion or happening just like all other emotion. There is no eye consciousness also. It is just like a emotion. The eye consciousness also coming moment by moment new. There is no permanent eye consciousness. Whatever comes is flowing state. Each and every time some new eye consciousness alone comes. As new thought comes, new eye consciousness comes. So when there is no thought, there is no eye consciousness. So the eye consciousness is also the product of your thought. As each and every moment new thought alone can come, the eye consciousness also come new moment by moment new. So everything is in a flowing state. Whenever we select something, we are giving some validity or some we are concretize the eye consciousness.
But these are thoughts popping in, right? And eye consciousness. Thoughts.
Everything is thought.
Eye consciousness.
But when you select something, then we take a hold when we are giving importance to the eye consciousness.
Okay.
The eye consciousness alone take a responsibility to deal with the other thing. But when we do not deal with anything, when we don't want anything, everything goes on, including the eye consciousness also in the flow.
So there's the key, not want anything.
But
not even enlightenment.
But here, if you select, I must keep myself in a position not wanting anything, that we are against in a trap.
Yeah.
So we have to find there is nothing to reach. We have to accept whatever is happening is just like a happening. There is no necessity for any doing. So we have to accept what is happening.
I talked to Swamiji and told me that my desire for enlightenment is a big obstacle. Do you agree with that? That my desire for enlightenment is a big obstacle? That's his point. You feel the same?
So here, up to the level of enlightenment, we have to decide for that. Then only you can understand. Till the level of understanding, you have to desire, you have to work for that. So work is needed. Then only you can understand. No work is needed. So to that extent, you have to work. You have to have some end. But when you reach the end, you will find nothing is there, nothing is needed. Then you will understanding will be natural. So before that, if you dramatize that you have understood like this, then it is working. So it is not real understanding.
So my attitude is okay. I can aspire for enlightenment.
Aspire for enlightenment. We can aspire. We have to aspire for enlightenment and work for enlightenment. That is, but everything is intellectual. We have to find out. We have to inquire.
Namaskar, Paul. Or you can use subtitles.
ask some questions to, if you couldn't answer. What is Manolaya and Manonasa?
Manolaya means the all thinking, all thought, all emotion, all experiences, everything is Manolaya. The Manolaya means taking some shape, the mind taking a shape in the form of some emotion, in the form of some thought. Everything is Manolaya. But Manonasa means if the disappearance of the shape, the dissolution of the shape is known as Manonasa. So the functioning of our mind is in the form of Manolaya. So all functions are in the form of Manolaya. But it is a natural state, the Manolaya. Through Manolaya alone we can do anything. Without Manolaya we cannot function. So without thought we cannot function. Without any experience we cannot function. So whatever we think, whatever we do, everything only with the help of the Manolaya. But that is useful if related to the external world or anything. But in the psychological world, if you are interested upon having any, so some Manolaya is very good, very nice. For example, we are having some happiness. If we want to be always with the Manolaya of some happiness, or we may have some feeling of some silence. The silence is a kind of Manolaya. And we are interested upon this Manolaya, and we will keep on with the silence, we keep on with this Manolaya. But this is, we want to strengthen, we want to stabilize the Manolaya. But actually, all Manolaya must disappear. So that is a natural state. It is a momentary state. All Manolaya is a momentary state. We have to accept the momentary state. So if you keep on that, I must be always in that Manolaya, that is against the nature of our functioning of our mind. So we have to understand the Manolaya, maybe time being it is alright, but in the next moment it must be free from that.
How do you become free? How do you move to the other stage,
Manonasa?
Yeah.
Manonasa is not a state. The Manolaya alone is the state. The appearance and disappearance is known as the Manolaya and Manonasa. Disappearance. We cannot, disappearance is not a state.
No, how this happens? What is the process?
So that is the natural state. The Manolaya is, each and every moment it disappearing. But whenever we are catching hold of some Manolaya, that alone is we are creating some struggle. Otherwise, we need not work for the Manonasa. It is natural. We cannot stop Manonasa.
It happens naturally.
It happens naturally. We cannot stop. But we want to keep.
Do you compare it like ice and water, something like that?
But that also
It's still form.
some
It's still
time. But it is not. It is just like writing upon the water. If you write anything upon the water, the next moment it will disappear. The
So
moment you write, that is the Manonasa.
That is so like a water writing.
Like writing upon the water.
Very good explanation. You practice. I mean, your followers. There's a Kriya Yoga, there's the Bhakti Yoga.
Many kinds.
Or you do combine.
I did pranayama and concentration upon the I am, or concentration upon the everything. So many things. Doing some mantra yoga. There are many things out there.
Like integral yoga. Integral yoga.
Integral. Many yoga.
Yeah, that's when you're integral yoga.
I did not do anything in the name of integral yoga. I do not know the name of
Integral
integral yoga.
yoga means many different parts.
Ah,
The bhajans and the mantra and everything.
Many things. But I am not doing everything at a time. One by one I do many things.
So this is your ashram here?
Nowadays I am going to construct one ashram. But now, up to now no ashram is there. Only residents are there. Oh.
Only foolish question. Do you know why so many masters, teachers gathered around the Arunachala?
So some place has to be necessary like this, otherwise the seekers are many, they have some meeting place, they can share their views and ideas. It's a good, so we cannot find any other place. So it is a good place where masters and listeners are meeting each other. So we are having a common place. If I can select my own place, but nobody will come, so I have to come here.
And there is no special power in the mountain.
We can take it as a special power of the universe or special power of the God. We can take like this. The matter has to come. Anyhow, we have to, the matter has to go. It may be by reason of the power of the God or anybody, anything, let it be. Practically speaking, this atmosphere is good.
But it's your question, why there are so many gurus? Was that your question? Was your question, why there are so many gurus?
Not here,
Yes.
not here. Here,
Around the
yeah, here, Arunachala, normally, pronominally, why many gurus are there? So he asked the question.
Our Shastras describe the ultimate state as Satchitananda and timeless, immeasurable, in so many different words they describe. So, what is your opinion on that?
So,
Because
there are-
as you say, in the natural state, we don't seem to be experiencing any timeless or immeasurable or Satchitananda as such.
So if you experience the immeasurable, itself is a measuring. So you cannot experience the immeasurable. If you say I can reach the immeasurable, then it will be within the measurable. It comes within the measurement. So it is beyond the experience. Actually, that is the Atman. That is the pure awareness. The pure awareness is known as Sat, Sit, Ananta. Satchidananda. Satchidananda means Sat means the existence. The Chit means the knowing. The knowing capacity is there. That's the quality. That's the quality of the Atman. That is the quality of the Brahman. And Ananta is not an experience. Ananta is actually Ananta. Ananta means infinite. So the Chit alone is existing. The Chit alone is infinite. So the real meaning behind all those Satchidananda is the Chit. The Chit means the knowing capacity. The knowing capacity is the awareness. The awareness is alone existing. The awareness is infinite. So there is a meaning beyond the Satchidananda. So if you understand, so awareness is having self-evident nature. So for example, this is a matter. The matter cannot know itself. But we know this is a cell phone, we can refer this thing, but the cell phone will not know itself. So whatever is having know itself, whatever having self-evident nature of itself is known as the awareness of our consciousness. So that is the Saidanya or Chit. So the Chit or Saidanya is having self-evident nature. For example, when the room is dark, we cannot see anything. So if we bring some candle light, with the help of the light, we can see many things. But can you take a candle to see the candle light? So the candle light is self-expression. We need not need no other light to see the light of the candle. So here, the Saidanya, the Chit is having self-evident nature. So what all having self-evident nature is Chit alone. So for example, we are having some wound here. So whenever wound, I need not touch the wound, thereby we can know the wound. The wound will express itself, the pain will express itself. So in this way, we have some psychological emotions, physical feelings. So all feeling having self-evident nature. Psychologically and physically, they are having self-evident nature. They express itself. So all the expression is the basic structure of the, everything comes from the chit. Without chit, no self-expression is possible. So this, the chit alone is expressing in such a way. But all the expression is known as the consciousness. But beyond the consciousness, the substratum is the awareness. The substratum is the real chit. That is infinite. But when it comes to the state of the bodily consciousness or psychological consciousness, this comes to a measurement. So when it comes to a measurement state, it is known as consciousness. So consciousness is a literal expression of the total awareness. So total awareness cannot be felt. So what we can felt is only the consciousness. But even the consciousness, when it is in the form of psychological or physical, it is only because of the reason of the awareness behind that. All consciousness of mind, all consciousness of body, everything is really, it is an expression of the chit itself. But actually the Brahman is everywhere. Even here also Brahman is there, chit is there. But this cannot have the quality of such a kind of expression as consciousness. Only mind and body alone have the expression by consciousness. So in this way alone, we can feel the Atman or Brahman only body and psychological consciousness alone. We cannot, apart from that, we cannot feel the awareness. Awareness is the cause. Awareness is the cause for the consciousness. But we can feel only the consciousness alone. But the consciousness has a limited appearance. It will appear and disappear. But the awareness will neither appear nor disappear. That is the basis of everything. That is the real chit. The real chit is awareness. But we know only the expression of the chit. The expression of the chit is our consciousness. Bodily consciousness, psychological consciousness. And in the basic structure, this infinite. But whenever we are having some consciousness of our thing, it having some definite stand. So we can feel only the definite stand of the infinite one. That alone we can feel. But we cannot feel the real nature of the chit. We cannot feel the real nature of the awareness.
Morning I feel a bit tired because of dreams, and some swamis and yogis said there is something as yogic sleep or dreamless, where you recover fully after a couple of hours. I never had that experience. So can you say more about dreamless sleep or yogic sleep? Some people experience and they tell about that. I never had.
So some people?
Yogis and swamis, they talk about that experience. What is the experience of yogic sleep?
Yogic sleep, somebody says that they can aware of the sleep itself. So they say that is the yogic sleep. That is not necessary. For example, when I have a deep sleep without any dream, we are unconscious of everything. But somebody may conscious of their sleep itself. They are known as yogic sleep. So yogic sleep means that is not the liberated, they are not connecting it with the liberated person or the enlightened person. Yogi is a state. Whatever we are having through yogic power or practice, we are maintaining a state. So the maintaining state is different from the liberation. So in the liberated point of thing, we need not having the yogic sleep. We can have the ordinary sleep itself.
No, dreamless. Dreamless, without dream.
With the dream, what's the harm in having a dream? There is no.
It's a bit tiring. I wake up in the morning and I feel like a little bit exhausted from dreams, from pictures, from all these
But
things.
here, if you face upon any problem in the day-to-day life, it will have some reflection in the mind. So if you do not have any problem in the external world when you are living, you will not have any you need not have any compromise within yourself. So it is just like a compromise. When you have some stress, when you are facing some problem in the world, you cannot solve the problem in the external world. So some psychological compromise is going on in the form of some dream. But at the same time, you have to understand from the dream and the nightmare. So nightmare is just like some expression. It may look like a dream, but it will not have affect the. It won't drive out any your energy. So only the dream alone, you can know, you can feel, you can remember the dream, but you cannot remember the nightmare. Some moments in your mind will be there, but you cannot feel. But whenever you are facing some struggle within the external world, you will naturally have some dream. So the dream may give some tiredness, that is different. But even though it gives some tiredness, it doesn't matter. But anyway, you have some psychological settlement within yourself. So all dreams are helpful to give you a psychological settlement. And you not worry about the dream. So in some, even though it creates some tiredness in your body, it doesn't matter. So it will, some way or other, it helps you.
So meditation itself will take care of dream. If I do practice meditation, the dream will also.
But here
change.
the thing is, whenever we are doing some, creating some problem in the external world, naturally we will have some dream. But even we are in the, you are having some meditation or anything, you are binding yourself, you are limiting yourself. You are not open to the natural situation. So so whatever is happening in the natural way, that is the good thing. But with the created thing is, it looks like a good thing, but it is not the real good thing. Whatever is coming natural is good. For example, in a given situation, anger comes, fear comes, that is natural. So we may create ourselves in a peace of mind with silence. So we can create silence, we can create peace. So comparing with the natural anger, natural fear, with the created silence and some peace of mind, so this anger is good, the fear is good. So what we are creating is, it may look like good, but it is not good. It is a torturing within yourself. So when you are understanding everything is natural, we have to go along with the natural thing, it will look after itself.
So you want to say that's face and reverse of the same coin. So once you remove one side, the other side will disappear.
Yeah. But here we should not take any stand. Psychologically, we should not create any stand for ourselves. So when we create some stand in the name of some meditation or anything, so it is good only for the beginners. For the beginners, it is very nice, very good. Otherwise, we cannot enter into the liberation, enter into the enlightenment. So we have to go through everything. All meditation are good, all practices are good, everything is good, nice. But we have to go beyond that. So for the time being, everything we can make use of it.
So my dream showed certain level of resistance in regular life, certain interference or ego, right?
Interfering of ego?
Yeah. My dreams show my daily life, right?
Unable to follow. What he said.
என்னோட ட்ரீம் சொல்றது சரியா வாழல.
There is a connection between dreams and
ரொம்ப சரியா வாழல, அதான் ட்ரீம் ரிஃப்ளெக்ட்.
Let it be. That way the incompleteness. It expresses our incompleteness, and thereby by way of dream we settle ourselves in the dreamland. We are settle ourselves.
So I can learn from my dreams also.
So it is helpful. So it may be with regarding to the incompleteness of the thing, the dream may be there. That way we can have a completeness in the psychological world. So it creates some settlement within the psychological function of our mind.
In short, it's a struggle.
Even though it is a struggle, somewhere or other it helps. Even we are having some struggle in the dream, and it creates some tiredness in the body. So even though it creates some goodness for us.
No resistance. Okay.
question. What can you say about Sri Rajneesh Osho? Rajneesh Osho.
Question also?
Rajneesh Osho.
Also.
Do you know him?
I heard about him.
Only
Personally, I don't have any idea.
Don't
Actually.
read any books?
Yeah.
No?
I gone through many of his books. I gone through many of his books in English and Tamil.
What is your opinion about him?
My opinion, he has done many things in his own way. He has done many things on his own way. Own way. He has some way. He has some approach.
Style.
So, sometimes it is good. Sometimes it is create some difficulties. Everything is there. Some good thing is there. Some bad thing is also there. We can make use of the good thing. If everything, everybody, everywhere, the good and bad are there. We can make use of the good thing and make use of that. So some good things in the teachings of Osho is also there. We can make use of that.
Enlightenment is a little bit the paradox.
So actually, the liberation, for which liberation no work is necessary. So all meditation is only some we are locking ourselves, we are restraining ourselves, we are conditioning ourselves. It's just like a conditioning, just like a tuning. So we are shaping. So meditation related to some shaping of our mind. So but liberation is the freedom of our mind. So it is against the liberation. And here, if you understand, there is no work is needed for liberation, then no meditation, it is not out of meditation. So it is just an understanding. So understanding is enough. But for the beginners, meditation is good. But it is not a, but when you have to go to the liberation, on the point of liberation, we have to free from your meditation itself. Then only the liberation is possible. Otherwise, we are shaping ourselves, we are holding ourselves in a place.
So meditation itself is liberation, right?
Meditation is not liberation. Meditation is retaining ourselves in a particular place. But liberation is not keeping ourselves in a place. We have to free from all the places.
Initially, we are all innocent and we are all in the flow. In the flow, like we don't control our emotion, whatever happens, we go ahead in the flow. Then later, we develop an intellect slowly because of the society and the value system and the people telling us. We develop an intellect. If we use this intellect for the outside world, it is good. But if we use this intellect to fix the inside of our mind, then that creates the problem. Now, in the outside world, we see everything is beautiful, everything is good, everything is complete, natural world. It's very beautiful and it's in sync, in synchronization with everything else, and there is an ecological cycle, everything is beautiful. Now, even though we human also we start our life innocently, beautifully, somehow this corruption has set in. The corruption of intellect trying to change itself. What is the root cause of the start of this corruption? Like, is it because the society forcing us? Is it the nature of the mind? What is the causes of this corruption of intellect trying to fight with itself, to change itself? Why it become a habit like that?
Because in the external world, we want some change. So something it may be good, something may be bad. We must avoid the bad, we have to select the good. That is in the external world, we have to use our mind, we have to think like that, we have to work for that. But psychological also, we may have some emotion, good emotion, certain emotion you like, some emotion you don't like. But it comes within you. Even though if you don't like, it comes within you. For example, if you have fear or sorrow, you don't like sorrow, you don't like fear. So naturally we will have that tendency to be free from that. But in the externally it is okay. But if you are psychologically, if you have the tendency to free from sorrows, free from fear, then you are having the, naturally you have the instinct, naturally you have the inducement to behave like this. And it will be, if it is natural, there is no problem. And you uphold the natural instinct through intellect, and you give consent to the natural happening through the intellectual way, then only you are giving struggle within yourself. Then you are making struggle consciously within yourself. But in the external world also may demand that some action is needed to change the situation. But here, when your intention is to change the situation and your intellect oppose the intention, then that is good. So the intellect can uphold the inducement. But the intellect should not uphold the inducement if it is related to the psychological world. But the inducement happens naturally. Both in the external world also the inducement happens naturally, but in the psychological world also the inducement happens naturally. So after happening the inducement alone, whether we have to take the inducement in hand or not is in question. Then we have to understand no work is needed in the psychological world. But in the external world, we have to take the thing in our hand and we have to work for that.
So yeah, everybody is born with innocence, and which is like natural state. And then because naturally they are born innocently, then naturally our intellect grows. Then naturally the intellect have the instinct to fight with itself. And after all these things, we have to put lots of effort to understand that this is a natural happening. Then again, it will go natural. So this is the whole process.
Yeah, because we have to understand the malfunction of our psychological structure, the wrong function of our psychological, wrong function of our intellect. We have to understand. So that understanding is alone considered as in the enlightenment. So other kind of understanding will not be treated as enlightenment. This understanding alone can be considered as enlightenment. Because whenever you find some way to fight within yourself, if you are justified to fight with yourself, you can endlessly fight with yourself. But if you understand no fighting is necessary related to yourself, then you can come to a correct understanding. So for that you have to inquire, you have to work for that and come to a conclusion that no work is needed psychologically. But in the external world, that is not like this. You have to work, otherwise no change is possible. So external world is concerned, some good situation must be there. Bad situation must not be there. We have to change the bad situation. We have to create the good situation. That is necessary. But in the psychological world, we are not in a position to separate anything. It is going on just like riding upon the water. It is separating itself naturally. Whenever struggle to separate creates more problem within ourselves.
So I was not involved in my birth. Like I was naturally born, then I was not responsible for that. Then I was innocent, I am not responsible. Then I gained my intellect, I am not responsible. But the intellect has got the instinct to change itself, I am not responsible. But only when the problem comes, I get the responsibility to understand it and to go back to the room.
So, in the first instance, your resistance may be unconscious. For example, whenever you are having fear or sorrow, you will have the unconsciously have some resistance to be free from that. But the next moment you are conscious of your resistance. When you are conscious of your resistance alone, you have to be free from the conscious resistance. The unconscious resistance does not matter. So it is natural. But the conscious resistance was always the problem. But in the existentially, in the external world is concerned, you may consciously resist something. But psychologically, you may resist yourself unconsciously, doesn't matter. But don't do it consciously. And we have to understand like this. We have to come to a conclusion, we need not struggle within ourselves consciously. So then only we can be free of conscious resistance.
There is also both to resist the bad feelings and also trying not to reach somewhere to gain a
Observe. Observe.
question. So our intellect or the conscious mind has got an instinct to resist any negative feelings like sorrow, unhappiness, and all those things. So similarly, does our conscious mind or the intellect has got a natural inclination to go to a good feeling? Is that
No,
also
no,
natural?
naturally.
So both are natural.
Both are natural.
Trying to
We are
have-
unconsciously
Yeah.
towards the good feeling and against the bad feeling. That is also comes naturally.
Both.
Both.
And we hold on to it.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
whenever some good emotion comes, we want to catch hold of some or permanently.
Right. Is it because of the like anubhava, like the bodily chemical reactions which we like?
So all emotions are creating some good emotion, good chemical change. So we like the chemical change. We enjoy the chemical change in the good emotions. So all emotions, some good emotions may create some chemical change. You like the chemical change.
The perception that we are already enlightened.
எல்லாரையும் enlightened-ஆ பார்க்குறீங்களான்னு கேட்குறாரு.
So I am not saying like this, but here
When you see human being, how do you see what's your perspective?
So the enlightenment is a personal matter. So I can verify. For example, if somebody is enlightened, think that he is enlightened, I can verify whether he is enlightened by questioning him. The main thing is that anybody is struggling within himself, fighting with himself, then he is not enlightened. So those who are not fighting with himself psychologically, they are alone or enlightened. Because they are not fighting with himself. They are going along with the natural flow of his mind. So that we cannot find whether he is enlightened or not. But naturally everybody is in the liberation. Nobody
Yeah,
can.
that was my question.
Nobody
Liberated
can.
already.
The liberation is already there.
Externally making obstacles and creating resistance and all that. But inwardly already liberated.
So liberation is there. Liberation is a common factor. Nobody can be liberated. Everybody is already liberated.
Okay.
But the main thing is that most of the people are disturbing the liberation. So whether we are disturbing the liberation or not is the question. So the enlightened people alone are not disturbing the liberation. They are going along with the natural flow.
So you have perception of us both as inside and outside.
So the inside liberation and the enlightenment is only psychological. Externally, you are an ordinary person. Don't claim yourself to be an extraordinary one. The external world is concerned, we are one among the many. We are one among the ordinary person. But psychologically, we are not at all a person. So some flowing alone is there. But because each and every moment, new personality alone is coming. So there cannot be any permanent person itself. So psychologically, we are not at all a person. Some emotions are going, some happenings are going. Actually, each and every, just like fear or anger, the eye consciousness is also a kind of emotion. Only emotions are there. There is no experiencer. But we think the eye consciousness is an experiencer of the other experiences. Actually, only experiences alone is going on. Experiences alone are coming. One of those experiencers claiming himself to be some experiencer, but actually there is no experiencer. Each and every moment, some experience alone is going on, comes and going on. But some experience looks like the experiencer, but it is also an experience. It is not an experiencer. There is not at all an experiencer. It may looks like the experiencer.
So as I understood, is yoga disappearance of eye consciousness?
No, the disappearance of eye consciousness can be happen when there is no thought. Whenever we are having some thought, the experiencer will be there.
But you can have that experience without thoughts, thoughtless.
No, thoughtless state is not necessary. Whenever you are in the deep sleep, whenever you are in samadhi state, then we need not have any thought. But in the ordinary time, we must have thought, but we will not catch hold of anything. You are not capable of any portion of anything.
So it's detachment.
So, detachment means you are not creating the detachment. So, we are not attaching anything, we are not holding anything. When we are not holding anything, everything is in the flow. So, for the time being, whenever you write a letter in the water, for the time being it looks like a letter. The next moment it is not a letter. So, in this way, each and every moment it looks like an experience, it looks like an experience. The next moment it may be free from the experience, it may be free from the experiencer, state of experiencer. Some state will be there for the moment. The next moment there will not be any state. New state will come. So, just like a living river, our psychological structure will be like just like a living river of emotion.
About change naturally, but Vasastra stress on vairagya, that is sort of self-discipline. So it seems somewhat contradictory with what you say. So what is your take on that?
But they are using the same thing in different words. Actually, the vairagya is the real meaning of the vairagya is liberation itself. Liberation itself is vairagya. It is nothing but liberation. But they name the liberation the name of vairagya. But vairagya is liberation. And liberation is our natural state. Vairagya itself is natural state. You need not create it. But the only thing is that we want something. The getting something alone creates the problem in the vairagya, creates some problem in the liberation. There should not be any conscious act. Whatever happens, let it be happening. There should not be any doing. All doing is related to the external world. Psychological world, whatever you do, whatever is happening, everything must be treated as a happening. There should not be any doing.
So, earlier you said that it's all our body chemicals reaction, whether it's good or bad. But how is that associated? Is it because of our nature, good? Like for example, some people might like red color, some people like white color. They work hard to get that color. So, but they are just colors. So why does some people like, or their body chemicals are associated with red color as a good color and white color as a not so good color, they might even hate it. So why that this like and dislike comes? I can understand if like and dislike comes for like more food which is necessary. So there's a liking if it comes, if there's less food, if there's no liking comes, that I can understand. But even abstract colors and all those things, like why should we have liking and dislike? How is this liking and dislike gets formed and associated in our body?
So something happens at a birth nature. The nature of the very nature of your birth itself, you will have some special characteristic for yourself. Somebody may having the capacity to do everything in a fast manner, something everything do in a slow manner. There is an inborn character. By birth itself, you have some character. So everything is registered in your subconscious mind or the what is known as Karma Sarira. Karma Sarira means the subconscious mind. That is the nature of yourself.
Okay.
That is from birth itself it is coming there. But in course of time you can change. Some change may be there. Possibly you can change. But you need not do it, but you need not fight with that. So if you see the importance of the change, naturally the change will happen.
Right. But does it also mean that every thought or every feeling is either good or bad, or little bit, even to a small extent? Is all thoughts?
So good or bad are related to the external world, external situation. Psychologically, there is no good, there is no bad. We have to take everything as like. So there is no good or bad. If you stamp anything in the name of bad or good, then you are against yourself. Then you are struggling with yourself. So it is happening naturally. You are not creating. It happening. So you cannot question. You cannot stamp anything good or bad. It is a happening. You cannot question the happening. You cannot question the raining. You cannot question the sun. You cannot question the wind. It is just like some happening is going on. So you cannot name it as a good or bad. So you can, but it is not in your option. So the external world is concerned, some duties may be there, you can select something. You can try to change something. But if you apply the same rule to the psychological world, then the problem will be continuous. So if you accept yourself wholeheartedly, if you give total freedom to a psychological world, then you should not be anywhere. So you must be along with everything. You should not place yourself in a position to judge anything. So you are not a judge to psychological world. You may be a judge to the external world, but psychologically you must resign the role of the judge.
Neither go towards the good body experience nor go away from the bad body experience.
Yeah.
Or the inside.
If the trying to away from the something, if it happens unconsciously, it doesn't matter. So don't do it consciously. That alone is the question.
Maybe it's that question related to mine. I have pain in the neck which just suddenly popped up like 6 months ago and it's still there. So where does this come from and how we deal with that? You just don't pay attention to this and it will go away as it came?
So body, we can treat our body as an external thing. So externally we have to do something. We have to try to clear the disease, pain or anything. We have to...
I tried everything. I was a chiropractor, doctors and all that and the massages and it's still very painful. And it just came out of nowhere like 6 months ago and it's still there.
So you have to undergo some treatment. For if it is necessary, so proper treatment you have to go. But at the same time, you may have some psychological pain related to your disease or anything. You need not worry about the psychological stress. Psychologically, we have to be everything as a natural thing. We need not worry about anything. So whatever happens in the psychological world, we have to take it as a natural happening.
So how do you take it? You just take it with gratitude?
So psychology, whatever it is happening, a good thing or bad thing, everything is same thing. Everything is natural.
So you accept it?
Everything. We have to go along with that.
So acceptance and treatment at the same time, but not paying too much attention to the pain.
So if it is related to the external world, for example, you are having some pain. So your mind is thinking that you have to be free from the pain. So here you can use the guidance of the mind and go for a treatment. So that is external. For the external act, you can think, but every thinking, every instinct is happening in the psychological world. You can make use of the world, make use of the psychological world to enter into the physical world. For that, we can make use of the mind, make use of the emotion. For example, whenever in trouble, when you have some bodily pain, your mind may be find restless until it is okay. So you can go to, so thereby you can go to a physician or anything to get it right. So for that you can make use of that. But at the same time, you should not do anything to keep yourself psychologically fit. There is nothing to, you need not worry about that. But whenever, so we can use our mind to all the situation, all the necessary things. But we should not use our mind against the mind. So using mind against the mind is a different thing. Using the mind towards the situation is different. But using the mind against the mind is not necessary.
But to come out of some kinds of addiction, don't we need a kind of self-control? If somebody is addicted to smoking or drinking or some other habit, in that case, isn't a self-control needed? If they just imagine thinking my observation alone is enough, my understanding alone is enough, I don't think it's going to help them clearly. So we see many practical cases. They want to come out of it, but they are not able to come out of it. Even this Duryodhana in Mahabharata somewhere he says, I know what is dharma and what is adharma, but I am not able to follow the dharma. So if there are so many people who are addicted and who want to come out of it, they have the understanding, but they are not able to. Just understanding alone is not enough in that case again. That self-control and vairagya comes into play somewhere, I think.
So here, for example, you are having some addiction with related to drinking. So you enjoy the pleasure of drinking. So afterwards you want to have, it creates some problem. So he wants to free from that addiction. Why you want to free from that addiction? So you want the pleasure of controlling that. So here also the operative force to control is also, you want to have the pleasure of controlling things. He wants to have the pleasure of controlling everything in your control. So in the first instance, he wants to have the pleasure giving by the liquor itself. So here the operative force is pleasure. The seeking pleasure is the basic structure of the pleasure. At one time it demands the liquor. The same pleasure in the other time demands the control. The operative force is seeking pleasure. So if you disregard everything, that means you are against the real pleasure. So the real seeking pleasure is a problem. So if you don't mind the pleasure, naturally, indirectly you will be away from the problem. But you cannot directly away from the problem. Whenever you struggle to get away from the problem, you will have another around yourself. Then it will not be free from the problem. So whenever you don't mind anything, that means you are away from the seeking of pleasure. So you have to come to the scene indirectly. You cannot come to this salvation directly. So you have to come there indirectly. Where you have to dissolve everything, you have to allow everything. So here, in that manner, you may look like that I am in favor of taking alcohol, but that is not the case. Whatever, if you accept everything, whether taking alcohol or not, everything is same, that means actually you are really against the pleasures, the seeking of pleasure. So whenever you are against the seeking of pleasure, some indirect salvation, indirect solution will be there. We cannot directly go there.
Possible to say where is a destiny?
Destination?
Destiny.
Destiny.
Destiny. That the man has no free will to do anything. That all is as it is.
So if somebody is saying that some destiny is there, so who has created the destiny? Has God Himself has created the destiny? For example, some persons are in a good position, somebody are in a bad position, or God is responsible. So if the God is responsible for the good and bad, then God Himself is bad. He is not good. So whatever good and bad, we are responsible for that. So we ourselves, our action creates this kind of reaction. So we are the source. So for that, if we are the source for anything, good and bad, some free will behind that, some free will is there. Then only if our free will is controlled by the will of God, we cannot do any good or bad. Everything will be controlled by the will of God itself. So as we can create good and bad, some free will is there. So we have to use the free will in a good way. So we are in a responsible position to do good alone. So if you do the bad, the necessary thing will follow. The punishment will follow, the unnecessary thing will follow. So we have to do a good thing. So the free will does not imply we can behave in any way. So you have to be in a good way. We have to use the good way. We have to select the good thing. So free will does not mean that otherwise. We have to. The free will means we are having the responsibility to do the good thing.
controlled by free will, or are some things destiny and some things are free will?
So the destiny creates a situation. So in that situation, you can select in a positive or negative way. So some situation, the destiny is the prarabdha karma is the reason for our situation. But it is not deciding. It is not deciding entirely. It is not a total thing. Some situation we are not creating a situation. The situation is created by many or by destiny. But in that situation, how you have to behave is in our hand. So here, the destiny is having only 40% power along this planet. But in our hand, we are having 60%. So we can have the option. We have to take the situation in a positive or negative way. It is in our hand.
Generally, for example, like if I have some free time, I will do little bit of daydreaming and my thought floats towards having pleasurable thinking. Like, what if I get for like $1 million? What I can do? Where I will go? If I get a promotion? I always jump into some sort of pleasurable thinking, and I will keep daydreaming. Is it only because to get the bodily chemical good feeling because of the bodily chemicals I do that? Because it's instinctive nature?
So every thinking, every emotion creates, to that extent, it will create some chemical change. Even ordinary thought itself creates some chemical change. But it will be very negligible. So it will not be very strong. It will, in a mild form, it will create some change. So that's the functioning of the body, that's the function of the chemical change. So each and every movement, every motion creates some change in the chemical. It will have some chemical reactions.
Okay, so is it like instead of consuming alcohol, I can just sit and think of all pleasurable thoughts and get a good feeling, chemical reaction in my body, and I can just be happy in my own illusion?
So here, it will create more problem. So for the time being, it may be all right. In course of time, it will suffer more than the required thing. So it will be, in long run, it will create problem. For the time being, for the first day, it will be nice. In course of time, it will create more problem.
The illusion will become stronger.
When you sleep, do you get dreams nowadays?
So instead of dreams, some nightmares are there, but not a dream. Very little dreams. Because dreams are not necessary. Nightmares we cannot be inevitable. It is inevitable. But we cannot recognize what I have found in the dream or anything. We cannot recognize. Time being, it may be like this, but the next moment we will be forgotten what we have seen over there in the dream. But the dream, what we can recollect, the dream, that is very rarely we can.
So what do you say about death, rebirth?
So that is a subtle body. So the astral body will have their rebirth. But physical body will go away. The subtle body will survive, and it will take another body in the next birth. It may be like this, but we cannot verify. It may be like this. But there are certain persons who are having their own experience, where their own experience they can easily come away from the physical body and they re-enter into the physical body again. Then we can, such kind of persons there are many persons having the same experience. So we can rely upon those experience. So some action is there apart from the physical body, some subtle bodies existing. It is not the experience of all. but certain people are having such kind of experience. But such kind of experience, the person who are such a kind of experience are many around me. So I can verify the experience like this. So some existence is there. And for that, the scriptures are saying many things related to the rebirth of the subtle body. That we can infer. It may be like this.
In what way your life has changed before and after your enlightenment? Psychologically?
Psychologically, some
Or
total
even
change.
physically?
Physical.
Was there any kind of chemical reaction in your body? Some yogis say that my entire body underwent some chemical reaction, something like that. But physically and psychologically, what were the changes
So
before and after your enlightenment?
So when I have the peace of mind, naturally I will have some change in the chemistry of the body itself. That is, but it is a little change. But that is not a vast change. But here, whenever you are having the calm of peace of mind or anything, it will have some reaction in the body. So some change, necessary change will be there. But it is not a great change. You cannot consider as a great change. But if, say, for example, if they have some many problem in the mind before the enlightenment and after the enlightenment, if we have a sudden release from the block, so we can have the sudden release from the physical. So thereby you can even the UG Krishnamurti also explained many bursts have been happening in his body. So such a kind of burst has not been taken in my body. So previously itself, I was okay. Even before the enlightenment, my function of my mind is very quite abnormal. So I did not any some great change in my chemical change in the body. So because of some many kind of practice, I keep my mind always in a calm situation. So there is no sudden change in the chemical change. But at the same time, some another change is also there. Some natural flow is there. So it creates in a different way. But it is not. But it is not in a great form. It is not a great change. But some person may have undergo some great change in the body level also. But in the yogic practices, it may create some change in the body. Some change may be good or some change may be in a bad situation also. Create some bad situation also. Because of you cannot, if you have some bliss consciousness or in good emotion, good feeling through some meditation, your body cannot withstand even though it may be good, your body cannot withstand. So some chemical change you cannot bear. The body, the nervous system cannot bear the chemical change of the body itself. So that is related to some yoga practices. But with the liberation, everything will be very soft and normal.
So psychologically, what was the changes that happened after?
Psychological change means, for example, you can differentiate the swimming against the current of the water, swimming along with the current of the water. You can some vast change. Some entire you are from the south pole to the north pole. The entire change is there. So there is a change between the ordinary person and the liberated person. So whenever you are struggling, you are against the current of the water. Now you are along with the current of the water. So there are vast change.
So does this change occur suddenly or is it gradual?
More or less it is happen suddenly.
Against the current, and once you realize it, then you start swimming in the same direction.
So here, the understanding alone is the responsible thing. So previously, fighting against the current alone, we can think beyond the current of the water alone, we have to go and we have to achieve something. But when we put down everything, naturally we are not expecting that some state, something. So here when we are not against anything, whenever we want to get something, so the natural flow is there. So everybody is in the flow, but whenever we are consciously, we are not seeking anything, the change happens. Because our stand is changing. Not the flowing is not changing, the flowing is already there, but our stand is changing. Because previously, in spite of the natural flow, we want to select something, we want to catch hold of something. Now we are not ready to catch hold of anything. We are not catching anything. We are let loose our thing. We submit to the natural happening. We are submitting to the natural flow of the psychological structure, natural flow of the water.
Does it have to do anything with raise of Kundalini and opening of Brahmananda?
So that is yoga. In the yoga, you can have.
It's related to enlightenment.
Enlightenment, it has nothing to do with enlightenment. It will create some state of mind, create some experience. Some good experience may be there. Even some persons undergo some bad experience due to the race of the Kundalini, they suffer a lot. There are many cases like this. And somebody who having some good experience through the race of Kundalini, everything is there, but it has not nothing to do with the enlightenment liberation. It is a separate way.
And the separate way leads.
Yoga is a separate way.
And
It is not the main track. It is a side track.
And its last goal. What is the last goal of yoga? Isn't
So
the
yoga,
enlightenment?
through yoga, you can have some good experience. But liberation is not seeking any experience. It is freedom from all experiences. But the yoga is related to some experience. You want to catch hold of some good experience, some powers, some special skill. So all those related to some yoga. You can create some good power, some extrasensory perception. There are many things. Yeah, what?
Siddhi.
Siddhi, occult powers. Everything is through yoga you can have all those things. But in liberation you are dismissing everything. You are not handling, nothing is in your hand. It is just like surrender to God. Surrender to God and liberation and enlightenment is same. There is no difference between them. So here you are not taking any responsibility in your hand. You have put down everything. So the nature alone takes the care of yourself.
States even beyond the liberation and enlightenment.
They may say like this. So whenever you establish a state, it has nothing to do with liberation. The liberation means beyond all states. So whenever you establish another state beyond liberation, that is meaningless. It has nothing to do with liberation. You can create state over state. That is in the yoga process you can create like this. But liberation is not creating anything. It is beyond all the states. It is not a stagnant one. It is just flowing, living river.
Buddhism, they talk about it a lot, that like Buddha had very high level of enlightenment, and other people had like some lower power enlightenment.
So they will say, if you connect the enlightenment and the yoga, they may say like this, but it has nothing to do with yoga. Here, whether you have any responsibility for yourself or not, if you say yes, then you are in the yoga process. If you say no, then you are in the enlightenment. So you psychologically, you have to say no, that you have no responsibility in yourself.
got enlightenment? Because in each master's life there are some defining moments or some incident which
But here, that is not a deciding, but whenever I say and some instant, it will not help anybody, because each and every person may be in a peculiar state, but the main thing is that before that, I think experience alone is the highest thing. Some good experience, some strange experience alone is the highest thing. But at some time, I feel that is not so. No, it is not at all an experience. I come to a conclusion. So to reaching that conclusion, some situation may be there. So even though if anybody having putting in those same situation, they will not come to this conclusion. But in a given situation, I came to this conclusion. It works for me. But the matter is, that does not matter. Everybody must be in that situation. Then only they will come to a conclusion. Does not matter. If you understand the thing in a good way, then it is enough. Because the main thing is very simple. Psychologically, no work is there. You have to inquire and find out. Because we have given the solution to the problem, and you can verify whether the solution is applied to the situation or not. You can verify. And if you are having the problem alone without knowing anything about the solution, then you may for yourself you have to try. But I have tried without knowing anything about the solution. Because that is why I have traveled in many wrong directions also. But now you need not worry, you need not travel in any more wrong direction. Because we have given a solution, you can verify whether it is related to the problem or not. You can connect the solution and the problem. And you can easily find out whether it is works or not. You need not, because if you have many solutions, then you can one by one you can connect. But I am telling the only one solution along to the problem. If you can connect, the matter is over. It is very simple. Even a schoolboy can understand this. But it is very obvious and very simple.
do you get psychological worries or you've gone beyond all that?
So everything helps.
Happiness. So all those emotions, do you get those emotions or you've gone beyond those emotions now?
Before enlightenment or after enlightenment?
No.
So every emotion comes to deal with the situation. But I am not dealing with the emotion itself. I have to deal with the situation. For the dealing with the situation, some emotion is required. Without the emotion, we cannot deal with the situation. But at the same time, what the emotion comes, you will not have any strong. You will not have any strong hold over you. You will not have any strong hold within me. So it will come and go, and it come and disappears. So it will be.
It won't bother you much.
Yeah. You can say like this.
To give you a specific and a concrete answer, yesterday in the question and answer satsang, Aya said that he was irritated with the person who brings water. Okay, so that answers the question clearly.
Liberation, that is then anxiety, because that will you also can verify what will happen after the enlightenment or liberation. That is not the important thing. So what is you have to test what is enlightenment, what is liberation. That we have to verify. That you have to work. But you need not work what will happen after enlightenment. That is need not worry about. Sometimes, for example, if I say I will have all the emotion as you like, then you will simply come to a conclusion that there is this kind of enlightenment I don't want, this kind of liberation I don't want. You will come to a conclusion like this. Then that is meaningless. So instead of examining like this, you can understand what really means enlightenment, what really means liberation. And if you work, you can find out whether I am speaking with any sense or not. That you can find out.
You were spot on, like Ramana Maharshi. Anytime I asked a question, you were pointing in the same spot. Who am I? Find out.
So the matter is one, wherever we are put, we have to say the same thing again and
I
again.
ask here, is it there? Right? I got it. Thank you so much.
Okay.